me crying, bawling, and give her money when I have money.
He didn't even attempt to pay me back anything.
Yada, yada, yada.
She's a mother.
Hot bench. Judge Tanya Acker. Judge Patricia Domingo. Judge Michael Corriero. 3 judges, 3 opinions, 1 verdict. This is Hot Bench.
Your Honor, this is case number 20, Oxborough versus
Thank you,
Smith.
Sonia. Ms. Oxborough, you are defendant Smith's mother. You recovered $100,000 in a product liability lawsuit regarding your hip replacement, correct?
Correct.
And you say that you used $10,000 of this money to help your son with his bills. You helped with his pool upkeep, you helped him pay his taxes, you helped with some home improvement, you helped retrieve his wife's ring from the pawn shop, and of course the ever necessary fireworks for his children. You laid out money for that. And you said that these were loans. You then had him sign a promissory note saying that he would repay you this $10,000, and you're suing for the court maximum $5,000. What you say is that these were gifts, and the only reason she had you sign a promissory note was because your mom's on public housing assistance, and had they known that she had this $100,000 recovery, they would have taken away her public housing, or they would have evicted her from there. So she asked you to create this fake note, and you did. You wrote this note out to show that the money was gone, and you did this for her. She never gave you $10,000. Anything she did give you, you claim was a gift, and that's where we're at. So you say you owe her nothing. How much money do you say that your mother did spend on you?
Well, the furnace she had replaced in our house was $1,700.
And what else?
And then there was a patch for our roof. That was $900.
Okay, that was the loan that you were going to pay back.
It started as a loan, and when we went to pay her back for the furnace, that turned into, oh, I decided it's going to be a gift.
Okay, ma'am, you get this $100,000. Do you report it as you're supposed to?
I did not report it because I didn't know I had to. I thought I was allowed one gift, one settlement type.
Let's assume you didn't know, because I'm not so sure whether you are signing a note for $10,000. And by the way, does anybody have that note? Let's have it. I'm not so sure
Well, it
that.
doesn't exactly say that. It says what I loaned him and what he's paid back and what he still owes, and it's notarized.
Do you acknowledge, sir, that you did sign a note?
Yes.
You do. You don't dispute that.
No.
I, Daniel Smith, received a loan in the sum of roughly $10,000 from my mother around 2016. I have paid back roughly $3,000. I still have around $7,000 left to pay back that I do as I can. So you write this note to help her continue to defraud the government, correct?
Yep.
We have an expression in the law which is unclean hands. You're doing something unclean, he's doing something. How did you make this a loan? Tell me what you did when you gave him. You said, here's $200 for the kids' fireworks. After they go up and smoke, pay me back $200?
Well, no, I gave him $200 so he could buy his kids, my grandkids, fireworks for 4th of July.
That doesn't sound like a loan. And people don't loan money.
Well, when he says, Mom, can I borrow it, that's to me a loan.
Is that the term he used? And when
That's
did you say
pretty
pay
much
me
with
back?
everything that I loaned him money for, that was it.
And when did you say pay me back? Because the issue I have is if you're not being upfront with the government, how do I know you're being upfront with us?
There was never a set date for him to pay me back.
So, all right, so he hasn't paid you back. He's not in violation of any agreement yet,
Correct.
is he?
No, there's
Is he supposed to pay you back anything
that's
else?
verbal.
When did he say he'll pay you back?
When he has it,
Okay, he doesn't have it. So what are you doing here? He doesn't have it.
he has had the money though. He sold his house. One of the times when he disowned me, like he does periodically, and I can't see my grandkids and
Let
all
me
that.
talk to you. How does this come about? Because you're admitting $2,500 you owe her.
I don't owe her $2,500, no.
So for the furnace,
She spent $2,500 on our house. The furnace was $1,700.
and the other thing was,
The roof leak in our daughter's room. I asked her for the $1,700 initially to fix the furnace. She gave it to us, and when I went to pay her back, she said, no, I've decided that's a gift for you and the kids.
true or not?
The furnace was a gift.
Okay,
Everything else is not.
furnaces are gifts. So she's admitting to that. And what about the
And
roof?
that was a loan. She paid to have it patched directly, yes.
Now, were you expecting him to reimburse you for that roof?
Yes, I was.
What did you say to him?
He tried to patch the roof himself and it did not, he was not.
Okay, you paid the roofer. How did you know he was gonna pay you back for that? How did this become a
Because
loan?
he
I gotta
said-
tell you honestly, I'm really having trouble with this.
He
You
said-
got $100,000, he's your son, you're helping him out with stuff, you're buying, I mean, to me, when I saw the fireworks, I'm like, you know, what are these people doing? Every time somebody buys a cup of coffee, now they're gonna say, oh, he owes me back? I mean, I just have an issue with a
The
lot
thing
of what's
for
going on here.
me to do with that, yes, it was wrong. I didn't think about it at all. My mother calls me crying, bawling
Did you
that
call
they're
and
gonna
say,
evict her.
upset that they found out?
No, I had to prove to my apartments every penny that I spent, and most part of the pennies I spent was on him. I had my
Called me bawling for me to write this note, otherwise I'm gonna get evicted, yada yada yada. I didn't want my mother to get evicted and wind up on the street, whatever else could happen. She was crying there in the bank with me, so that's why I did that.
So let me ask you, why would you then need to say, she gave me 10,000 and I paid 3,000 back? If this is all a fraud, why wouldn't you just say, my mother gave me $7,000?
I think it has
Why
had
bother
something to
with
do
the-
with a deposit of $3,000 into her bank or something or another. I don't remember the fine details in that.
What was the 3,000 in your account?
I never had a deposit for $3,000 in my account because he never paid me.
You know what? I think the two of you are on a slippery slope with me. Maybe
Well,
my colleagues will clear it
When
up.
he sold his house, one of the times he disowned me for close to $300,000. He didn't even attempt to pay me back anything.
Well, that doesn't answer our question. Let me start with you. Did your mother give you $2,500 for property taxes?
No.
You said that you gave him $2,500.
Yes,
for
I
that.
did.
When did you do that?
It was in 2016.
You have proof of that?
Just what I wrote down as I was loaning it to
What
him.
was your
This
taxes?
is what I had written.
I have no idea.
Have you ever paid $2,500 in taxes?
Not at one time that I can remember, no.
Did your mother give you $300 for your pool upkeep?
Absolutely not.
Chemicals.
Did she give you $875 for repairs?
For the roof, I believe that's what it was.
So when did you pay her back the $875?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I have paid her that back. I give her money when I have money. I give her money when she asks for
When was the
money.
last time
I
you
don't
gave her?
keep
When was the last
track
time?
of it.
When was the last time you gave her money?
Let's see, I think the beginning of February.
How much did you
I
give?
think we gave her $50.
So what is her motive for suing you now for all of this money?
She's out of money and she wants money. She has a habit she can't afford, and she wants money and she doesn't have the money anymore.
What happened?
Well, he's alleged in his papers that you have some kind of substance abuse habit,
Okay.
which is
That's
really,
why that
from my
money
point of
was-
view, gratuitous
His kid.
on your part.
Why is that?
Because she's your mother.
Facts are facts. I mean, when
Yes,
that's
they
the
are.
reason,
Facts
that's
are
the
facts.
reason.
Hot Bench continues in a moment. And later today,
You got phone calls from the police.
Police saying that they're gonna impound it, they ain't gonna get back. There's a drug in there.
They advised you that that car was being used to sell narcotics.
Thank you.
opinions, one verdict. Hot Bench.
So, Ms. Oxborough, if the case began and ended with the promissory note, then you would have won. You would have established that there was an obligation to repay you. But his position is that this note is just a fraud, and that the two of you ginned up this fraud so that $100,000 that you received as a settlement wouldn't be reported to the government and wouldn't result in your losing your publicly subsidized housing.
Can I say something? I wasn't trying to commit a fraud. He wrote it, took it to the bank. I was not there.
I want to go back to the underlying loans. I'd like to see some proof that you paid $2,500 for the
All I
property.
have is what I had written down here as I did it.
So you have no receipt
No,
for the
I have
property
my son.
taxes?
It's all verbal.
So you gave him $2,500 for property taxes to him?
Yes, I did.
What about the money for the roof and the furnace? Because your son alleges that you paid the handyman directly.
Yeah, because he didn't have the money. I have the
So
money.
you
I
paid
gave
the
it to
hand-
him.
I want some evidence that those transactions took place.
I don't have that receipt.
No evidence of those payments to the handyman.
No.
Do you have any canceled checks? Any withdrawals from your bank account?
No.
No
I
receipt,
don't have
nothing.
checks.
Where's the $100,000 now? Do you have any of that money
I
left?
have none of that left, no.
I don't have anything.
Because can I,
We're gonna retire to deliberate, thank you.
This courtroom is now in recess.
I'm gonna try to set forth why I don't think she's entitled to the money. First of all, I believe that the note was really not done gratuitously and genuinely. What convinces me is she herself said he paid back $3,000, and yet when I asked her, did he give you money, or do you have anything in your bank account to show that? No, he didn't do that, So I don't find her credible. I think that they are both in this with unclean hands, and I'm not willing to give a woman who gives $200 to grandchildren for fireworks to say, these are all loans and I expect it back. I think that she was...
I'm not sure I agree with you entirely. His whole defense is, I signed this note because she failed to disclose a $100,000 award, and that put her in jeopardy of losing her federal housing support. So what would a $10,000 note have to do to rectify that?
I don't think she's met her burden, period. Even if we take that $875 that he admits that he took from her as a loan, she acknowledges, as you pointed out, that she got $3,000 back from him. So if that's the case, I would just dismiss her.
We don't have anything other than mother suing son under a situation where she can't establish
Well, we have a
anything.
promissory note.
I distrust that note.
Yeah,
We
I
have a
just...
promissory note, and I'm going to dissent.
Okay.
Remain seated, come to order. This courtroom is again in session.
Burden of proof. That's the whole thing that this is about. Burden of proof. We have a divided court, however, because Judge Michael Corriero believes, ma'am, that you did meet your burden of proof, but Judges Acker and myself, we do not believe so. The roofer, that's something that you definitely should have. The fireworks is, like, to me, the most ridiculous part of this. That's gone, that's burnt, that's up in smoke. So in our book, you don't have anything to substantiate your position, which would help you have met your burden of proof. That's what this is. It's a court of law, and that's what's required, evidence. So therefore, ma'am, we're going to dismiss your complaint, and that's the verdict of the court.
This courtroom is now in recess.
Sad that she felt she needed to do something like this.
and you should be ashamed of himself going up there and lying on me like that.
It's her choice. She made her bed. She's got to sleep in it.
I probably will never see my grandkids again.
Coming up,
You were supposed to cooperate with her so she could get it registered.
I can't get arrested and get shot up.
I never got the car
Well, what is
registered.
this?
I don't know, those are false documents.
is one verdict. Hot bench.
Your Honor, this is case number 8, Smith versus Hurd.
Thank you, Officer Montejano. Ms. Smith, you bought a car from the defendant, and he's someone with whom you've done business previously. What was the car that's at issue here? A 2003 Infiniti.
Yes, ma'am.
You discovered, however, that it was a salvage vehicle, and you couldn't register it. So you want the defendant to reimburse you the $3,500 that you paid, and you also want him to compensate you an additional $1,500 for transportation fees you say you incurred. Mr. Hurd, you say that she knew the condition of this vehicle from the jump. You were very upfront and candid with her about it. She had it for months, she drove it for months, and you don't owe her any money.
No.
What did he tell you about the car at the time you initially purchased it?
He told me that the only thing that was wrong with it was a dent in the fender. And he was like, it's nothing, I can fix it. That was it.
Do you have a picture of the car at the time that you purchased it?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to see that picture. Mr. Hurd, is that testimony accurate?
No,
You tell me your version, sir.
I run a junkyard. So everything there junk.
You run a junkyard.
I'm an auto recycler.
What's the name of your company?
Auto Recycle, LLC.
You tell us in your answer that about a month after she got the car, you got phone calls from the police.
Police saying that illegal activity with the car.
The license plates that are registered to you are still on the car.
Yes, if they see her in the car again with her boyfriend, they gonna impound her and they ain't gonna get back.
Why did the police tell you they were going to
They was
impound
in
the
a
car?
drug trap. They're in a drug area.
They advised you that that car was being used to sell narcotics.
Thank you.
And so you told her that you wanted your license plates back. Did you bring him back the plates?
I did.
Did you get new tags on the car?
I couldn't do nothing with the car. I can't
Well, you were
drive the
doing
car.
something with the car because a few months later, the car was involved in a shooting.
It was,
And then the
and
car was impounded.
I have the police report
I'd like
in
to see the
reference
police
to that,
report.
and the shooting had nothing to do with me.
So you go to the impound lot, and the police were holding it for evidence.
They cut up the interior, took bullet shield, 2 holes in the front windshield of the driver's side, had 2 bullet holes in the front door, and the side window shot out.
Do you have any pictures of this?
Yes.
Miss Smith, here's a car. You haven't fully paid it off yet. You've been driving it for 6 months.
I had it.
You've been driving it for 6 months.
I did not have the car for 6 months. Like, I don't know why he's saying it.
Okay, you know why he's saying it? Because you said it. In February, I was looking to buy another car. In July, my Infiniti was involved in a shooting. I am looking at somebody who bought a car, didn't pay for all of it, then suggests that she's surprised that it's a salvage vehicle. It ends up in a police impound lot, and she says, oops, I want my money back?
I mean, that's not what happened.
Yeah, it's what you said happened. Maybe you'll rethink it. Judge Domingo?
Sir, we have an issue with regard to this title.
Yes.
Because you own a junkyard, you can own and buy a salvaged car.
Yes.
She can't.
She had my operating tag on the car.
You didn't give her the title because you never rebuilt the engine and had the car inspected so that they could modify the title.
Okay, I understand.
Judge Corriero?
You say, I told Tiffany that the vehicle would have a difficult time passing inspection because it was considered salvaged. She insisted on buying it anyway. Is that true?
No, sir.
And did you get it registered?
It could not be registered because
It was a salvage car and it hadn't been remedied by the person who sold it to you.
And it had to be inspected.
You sold her a car and you were supposed to cooperate with her so she could get it registered.
I was gonna get it registered, sir. I can't get it registered and got shot up. You gotta have all the windows in.
All the windows.
All the windows got to be in. All the glass got to be in. And
Is that what they told you?
I replaced the glass with the understanding that he was gonna get the car inspected. I kept calling him, going up to his shop, Milton, when can we get
Did
the
you
car
eventually
inspected?
get the car registered?
I never got the car
What is
registered.
this?
Show that she got registered. So that
I did not get the car registered. I don't know. Those are false documents.
Where is the car?
The car is parked in front of my house.
And you can't drive it?
I cannot drive it because I can't get insurance on it. It can't get registered.
ain't no number.
I did not get a tag for these vehicles.
And what is this?
Land registered in a boyfriend name.
Milton, where are you getting this stuff from?
From the Department of Revenue.
Temporary operating permit for Quentin. Who's that?
That's my husband, but Milton knows him.
Who was in the car when the car was shut up?
Well, he drove the car when he got shot up.
Thank you.
But
Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to retire to deliberate.
This court is now in recess.
Okay, that was quite a tale.
So, just a couple of foundational things. I find his testimony credible. I think it's a place where you buy old vehicles, he rebuilds them. And let me just cut to the chase. Assuming that he should not have sold her the car and let her drive off in the condition that he did, any failing on that part, to me, is completely extinguished by the fact that she drove it nonetheless. The car was involved in a shooting. There's evidence that somebody was able to get some sort of operating permit on it. She's bought salvage vehicles from him before. He's rebuilt them before. He didn't have a chance to do it. The car got shot up.
Exactly. She had the car for many months. She had it in July. If we look at these papers, the change in hands comes in July when she no longer wants it because the car has been bullet holed throughout. He did what he could so she could use it even though she wasn't supposed to. And I believe that he keeps the $2,500, she's got the car, and they both go on their way. She can consider it that she leased it from him during that
Beautifully
time.
analyzed by both of you. Our testimony is too murky to rely on.
No, you can't rely on her.
Shall we?
Yes.
Hot Bench continues in a moment. Closed caption is provided by
It's the
when you can simply enjoy. Are you the victim of a scam? Go to hotbench.tv, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
We have reached a verdict and it is unanimous. Mr. Hurd, you operate a lot that sells recycled cars. You sell salvage cars, you rebuild them so that they are then in compliance. You previously sold her a salvage car, you rebuilt it, all was fine. All was not fine here because the car got shot up. If it wasn't salvaged and unregisterable before, it's unregisterable now.
I fixed
You
the
drove the car was damaged beyond repair in your possession. We are not giving you your money back. Your complaint is dismissed.
Hot Bench continues in a moment. And on the next Hot Bench.